Msimamo wetu bado ni ule ule kwamba sisi tuko ule upande mwingine wa upinzani, tunataka kuleta mabadiliko katika taifa la Kenya. Maana tunaamini kwamba ile mwelekeo ambao nchi iko sio mwelekeo mzuri. That one does not change. Huwezi kuchange kwa sababu adimuru kama amekuja kutembelea Natembeya hiyo. Hizi ni watu ambao tuko na msimamo, and we are paying the price for that. Hiyo Kenya mnajua. We are paying the price for that. Kwamba ile maneno ambayo tunaongea unapata kuna consequences. And we are bearing those consequences with the dignity, with the grace. Maana mambo ambayo yanatarajiwa kwamba when the government is rattled, lazima ikuje kusumbua hata wenzako kufunga. The government understand this thing.
Rumors have been going around that George Natembeya is being hunted by President William Ruto. William Ruto wants him in his team of UDA. And people are even saying that the visit by Murkomen was basically to go and get Natembeya on board. Now, in politics, nothing just happens. And there's no rumor you can just ignore. But Natembeya came out to deny the allegations that probably is joining William Ruto's side. But I feel strongly that if there's someone who is open, it's George Natembeya. He can join William Ruto or not. In his campaigns, when George Natembeya is moving across the county, he's always talking of Mluya kuwa kwa meza. Akikuwa kwa meza kuna shida gani na William Ruto? I am not trying to say that Natembeya has already admitted, but the fact remains that it's not something you can rule out. So on this particular video, I want to take you through on the reasons as to why William Ruto could need George Natembeya on board. But before I take you through, if this is the first time you're watching my videos at Mokwa Times, kindly take a second or two to subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel. Let me dive into this topic without much wasting of time. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we know that anything is possible in politics. And Natembeya is a very serious striker when it comes to the political game in Kenya. Why could William Ruto go for him? Number one, it is to destabilize the opposition. As we speak today, the link between the Western and the opposition, it is not Cleophas Malala. It is George Natembeya. The link between Western and the opposition. If today Matiang'i wants an ally from Western Kenya, we will go for George Natembeya. If Kalonzo wants an ally from Western Kenya, which I feel can be a good combination for the presidency, it is George Natembeya. If Gachagua wants to be a president in this country and he goes for a deputy president in Western Kenya, to be sure, it is George Natembeya. So therefore, if William Ruto takes him, there'll be a big gap there that cannot be filled by any politician right now from the Western region, including Eugene Wamalwa. And the opposition will be destabilized. Operating in Western Kenya will be hell. So that is how important George Natembeya is. Number two, if William Ruto gets George Natembeya on board, that is basically to lock the Western region votes to his side. The almost 3 million votes to his side. Yes, opposition can fight but cannot get more than 1 million. So after having Mudavadi, having Wetangula, then Raila Amolo Odinga, a huge number of members of parliament, and then now include George Natembeya, all the way from Trans Nzoia to Bungoma, locked. So if William Ruto does that, remember he's trying to replace Mount Kenya, which gave him about 4 million votes plus. So if William Ruto does that, already he has a very, very good starting point that the opposition must really take care of. And actually this takes me to another video that I did here. And I told the opposition that take care of the Western region. Be very careful about the Western region. And the coastal region. Those are the areas William Ruto is going to play his politics from. If you don't take care, to be done. So ladies and gentlemen, another reason is the perception. Assuming Natembeya joins William Ruto probably in 2026 or even at the start of 2027. And then a proper calculation is made to make sure that the Luhya people are comfortable. Then the perception will be that William Ruto has won the election. The entire Luhya is now with him. The entire coast is with him, assuming he takes Alliance and you as the running mate, as I did in another video. And now the battleground in Nairobi to be about the Luhya will be with Ruto, the Luhyas will be with Ruto, Now it's all about to see how to play around. So ladies and gentlemen, the fact means that that perception matters in politics. It can influence how people are going to vote. People can even despair. Others might not even turn up to vote. Like Aish, even Natembeya has left, then it is done. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, George Natembeya, if he joins a party or even he starts his own party from the Western region, or maybe he goes with DAP and he becomes the party leader, they will campaign across the country to get what we call the number of members of parliament going up. So if they get a huge number of members of parliament, even if William Ruto takes him or not, they will need such a team. Whoever wins the president will need George Natembeya from parliament. It might not bring a huge number of members of parliament, but the way things are, after Mount Kenya leaving William Ruto, you will not have a huge number of members of parliament as such. People are scattered across. But we know if now these people do not agree, the opposition, and then individually people produce members of parliament at their own capacity, such kind of a division can be able to enable William Ruto to get those members of parliament the way he does as usual after he wins an election in 2027, assuming he wins. So George Natembeya is also key to William Ruto in the sense that he can bring members of parliament on board. There's a likelihood that the ODM party has gone down, but its popularity has shrinked significantly in the Western region. So there's a likelihood also the top person who can be George Natembeya can influence the members of parliament, the election of specific members of parliament there. A clear indication that then George Natembeya can have a huge number of members of parliament on board through his party that he might support. So that kind of a position will be very key to President William Ruto. Now, ladies and gentlemen, will Natembeya lose by joining William Ruto? As per today's current status, yes, he will lose the favor of the people. In the entire history of the Kenyan politics, most especially from the people of the Western region, they write it down that once a leader emerged and he was bought. Because they can agree as gentlemen, let's work together. But the perception the Kenyan mwananchi will have, Natembeya amenunuliwa. And such a kind of a tag, it will never get out of the people's minds. That's the end of Natembeya's politics. It will always be in the hands of other big politicians. Just like it has happened with Kalonzo Musyoka, where he was branded watermelon. Up to now, Kenyans don't trust him. Kenyans don't trust him. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the biggest failure that Natembeya will face right now. But going forward, if the dynamics in politics change, then there's a possibility that William Ruto might gain more love in the country, probably, assuming that. If he gains the love, then Natembeya can benefit. But checking from the trend ever since William Ruto got into power, the love from Kenyans has been shrinking and going down in each and every day. And considering how William Ruto does his things, telling the public that the police to shoot people in their legs, those are constant blunders that he's making. A clear indication that people are drifting from him day by day. So therefore, it is unlikely that if Natembeya, even if he makes a decision later on later on towards the elections, still he might lose the favor of the people. I don't know what's your take, but on the comment section, feel free to share with me on what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching my video.